I want to start first and foremost by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and will lead as examples to the flock. Peace and salutations to the Akim out there pushing this word in all sincerity, in all truth. Starting with the 144,000 elect men, as well as the believers, who are listening to the new song, and dancing along to the song that's being piped. All right, so this lesson is going to be entitled ID4D, another piece of the puzzle to the MOTB. ID4D, another piece of the puzzle to the MOTB. Now, so this is another initiative that I discovered, while listening to a video, by Whitney Webb, which the elder Ariella, put me onto, a couple of years ago, so every now and then I listen to her videos, and she always brings out, very good information, on the system, in general, and the plans that they are trying to put in place. So without further ado, let's get into what ID4D is. So it says the ID4D initiative is a program by the World Bank Group that helps countries establish inclusive and trusted digital identification system. Its goal is to ensure all people prove their legal identity and access essential services and economic opportunities consistent with the Sustainable Development Goals. Right? And if you don't know what the Sustainable Development Goals are, the Sustainable Development Goals are defined by the United Nations, right? And specifically in Goal 16, I believe it's 16.9, right? They speak about having identity for all people, right? And one of the or the most efficient way that they have identified to have identification for all people is to use digital identification. So there are several different initiatives globally, right, to help countries establish digital identities. Here in Jamaica, we have the National Identification System, which started its rollout, I believe, last year, But yeah, so that is also a digital identity, even though you get a physical card, right? And there's massive initiatives going on right now to digitalize the different branches, of government, the different government services such as the Passport and Immigration Office, the Registrar General Office, which deals with like birth and marriage certificates and death certificates, stuff like that, so the tax offices. So even right now, like for example, for the cars here in Jamaica, to register your car, you have to register your car for you register your car for a period of 6 or 12 months, and you get the sticker to put on your windshield, right? And the sticker pretty much will indicate when your registration expires and you need to, renew it. But as of July of this year, so just less than a couple months ago, because I think it was July 21st or something like that, they initiated a digital vehicle registration system where you go in and you pay for your vehicle registration and its fitness, and you get a digital registration certificate, that will be emailed to you. And if you don't have an email address, they will help you set up an email address for them to email that vehicle registration to you, that digital certificate to you. So there's no more collecting a physical certificate. So it means that when you need to renew your first of all, when you need to renew your registration, we can do it online now, but you'd still have to go in and pick up the physical sticker to put on your car. But no, you don't need to, right? No, it's all digital, right? It's all digital. So this is just my rant here is to just show you an example here in Jamaica of digital transformation that's going on, right? And you'll hear that phrase worldwide: digital transformation, digital identity, right? So here is their what they say is their motive. A significant portion of the world's population lacks an official form of identification, which creates a major barrier to accessing financial services, government benefits, healthcare, and voting. Right? And really and truly, the main reason why they want to do this is to have you connected to the grid, right? If they have a digital identity that is tied to you, right, then your activity online is easily traced back to you, So now you have different initiatives like social media verification initiatives that are going on, where different social media websites want to verify who you are. For example, LinkedIn, I remember a couple months ago, LinkedIn offered to give me some other benefits, and they said in order for us to do this effectively, you need to verify your identification so that we can help you get jobs. I think it was help you get jobs. So upload an ID or some form of identification to say this is who I am, and we will say, okay, your identity has been verified, and so we can push your profile in front of more recruiters, right? So and different countries are pushing different reasons for social media verification. For example, ensuring that minors don't have access to certain websites or apps. But whatever the reason is, the idea is to have a digital identity that is tied to you, whatever you do online. Because the new system that's coming is going to be a digital system, and there needs to be a way to tie the physical, which is you, to the digital system, which is going to be your digital identity, which is going to be tied to your biometrics. Like the national identification system that we have here in Jamaica now, right? It's tied to your biometrics, right? So reading on, right? I wanted to get so it gives you all the different things here, that about it. Brothers can read up on their own. But what I wanted to also bring out, so I asked a follow-up question. What is the connection between ID4D and the global push for development of CBDCs and tokenization of assets? Right? The World Bank's ID4D initiative is foundational, right, for the development of central bank digital currencies and asset tokenization. Let's look up what that word tokenization means, right? Let's look. Right, so tokenization, right, is a process of replacing sensitive data element with no, so that's not it. Tokenization of assets. Yeah, here we go. So asset tokenization is the process of creating a digital token on a blockchain or distributed ledger to represent ownership rights of a physical or intangible asset such as real estate, stocks, or commodities. So the brother that heads BlackRock, can't remember his name. Right? Yeah. The New York-based firm is working on tokenizing funds tied to real-world assets such as stocks, subjects. Larry Fink. There you go. All right, Larry Fink, because he believes that the future, right, is tokenization, right? Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, is a strong advocate for the asset tokenization trend, seeing it as a way to revolutionize investing by creating digital representation of assets, including stocks, bonds, and real estates on the blockchain. Right? So that's the future, right? That's where the world is going, as the saying goes, right? So reading on here now, it says the ID is the foundational for the development of CBDCs and asset tokenization, providing the identity layer necessary for these technologies to function securely and inclusively. Because in order for you to gain access to this new digital system that they're building, which are centered around CBDCs and asset tokenization on the blockchain, you need to have a way to identify yourself when you access that. And that's going to be your digital ID that then ties you to those transactions, right? It says, without a robust and trusted digital identity system, the promise of CBDCs and tokenized assets, such as improved efficiency, enhanced physical inclusion, and reduced costs, cannot be fully realized. So you can't have the CBDCs and tokenization of assets work properly without digital ID, right? So that means you can't have the mark of the beast being fully implemented without digital identity. It's a fundamental layer, right, to get in place before the mark of the beast is pushed, which is the RFID microchip, the implantable RFID microchip, which is going to represent your identity, your digital identity, everything about you, right, in physical form, right, embedded under the flesh, right? So Let's get couple precepts. Psalm 10 verse 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Because we're heading into time of trouble now, right? And we have to pray to the Heavenly Father, right, to remember us, to remember His promise of deliverance, right, to cast down the enemy and their plans. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And we're just reading about another example, which is the ID4D, right, initiative by the World Bank. That's another one of their devices. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous which the Lord abhorreth. Right? So they speak boldly about these different things that they're gonna put in place. Right? Showing you that, you know, it's even the head of the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, not IDB, the International Bank of Settlements, right, which is the central bank of central bank. The head of that was saying that CBDCs are completely different from anything that we have right now. It's not just digital money. It's not just money that you have online. It's fundamentally different. It is programmable, you know, so that you can limit where and what it's spent on. You can have it expire. You know, it can be everything that you do is tracked and surveilled, you know, to create what is called a digital profile of you, right? Right now, there's a term right now that's called surveillance capitalism. Let me look that up, right? Let me look up what would be the benefit. All right, let me ask this first. What is surveillance capitalism, and how does having an, or this I call this now, digital identity impact this? All right, let's go. So surveillance capitalism is an economic system in which tech companies extract vast amounts of behavioral data from users, not for the purpose of improving services, but for commodification and sale. As defined by scholar Shoshana Zuboff, it claims private human experience as a raw material that can be translated into behavioral data to predict and modify human behavior for profit. The advent of digital identities amplifies. What does the word amplify mean? Let's look up amplify, right? Let's look up amplify. The word amplify means to increase the volume, right? To load, to expand, right? Amplifies the potential for surveillance capitalism by providing a single verifiable tether. A tether is something that's tied to you, right? A tie, yeah, right? So your digital identity would be that tether, that tie to you, a single verifiable tether to an individual's data across multiple online and offline interactions, right? It facilitates comprehensive data extraction. Digital IDs act as the central key that links all of your function online and offline activities together. When your government-issued ID is connected to services that collect data, it becomes a powerful tool for comprehensive data collection that far surpasses traditional tracking methods, right? So this is what's going on. This is the future. Not even the future. This is what's going on right now, because surveillance capitalism is going on right now, right? But it's going to be amplified when digital identities are fully implemented, especially when people start using CBDCs, right? Back to Psalm chapter 10 and verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above all his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and under his tongue what? Mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, talking about getting identity for the unbanked, you know, because he's talking about people in remote villages and stuff like that that need digital identity so they can access government services, and they use the term of inclusion or inclusivity. Yeah. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes is privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait as a lion in a den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Right? Let's go now to Job chapter 5, right? And verse 12. It says, speaking about Yahweh, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So ultimately the Lord is going to cast him down here. He's not going to be able to fully realize his dream. Right? He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Right? And of course we can't, do a lesson on this without bringing out Revelation 13 verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Going back to that Greek word charagma, stamp, imprinted mark, that implantable RFID microchip. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. Charax, going back, to a pail or a stake, which represents the needle, right? The root word of that being grapho, which represents what? Written information, because that's what the microchip is going to represent. Your tether, right, to both offline and online activities that represents you online, so that you can be tracked, you can be surveilled, and you can be influenced and modified, because surveillance capitalism is not just about collecting behavioral data to predict or what you're gonna buy, but also to modify your taste, to modify your opinions, to get you to buy something that you probably won't normally want. Right? So, hopefully this lesson was edifying.